Good morning. This is Micah Mitchell with Madison County Weather Updates, bringing you the TrueView Exteriors severe outlook for today. As some things have changed, some dynamics are increasing, so we're going to take a quick look at those. Hopefully none of us have to deal with any storm damage, but if you do have any storm damage to the exterior of your home, definitely get in touch with Alex and he'll get you set straight. So I'm just doing this kind of on the fly, so let me get this back where I want it here. So we're taking a look at the 6Z HRRR model. There were the storms that went to our north overnight last night, and we stayed in the clear. The next thing we will be watching will be a line right here that's coming through Illinois now that could affect us by I'd say noon to 2 p.m. time frame, depending on pace. You can see all these little bitty individual cells within that line. We need to kind of watch if that actually occurs, because that gives a better potential for some tornadoes and or larger hail, because there will be decent updrafts with it. So we'll have to keep an eye on that line as it comes across to see if it does in fact develop almost like individual cells within the line. That's pretty unusual, but it does happen on occasion. So this is again around the noon to 2 p.m. time frame that first line could come through. After that, you see all these just individual pop-up cells that the HRRR has. If this occurs, these will be the kind of cells we're going to want to watch out for, because we're going to have a ton of convective available potential energy, or CAPE, and it's going to be in around 2,000 joules or so. You only need about 350 for thunderstorms, and once you're getting into the upper hundreds, severe becomes possible, and we're going to be around 2,000 or so. So there's going to be plenty of energy available. There's going to be plenty of shear available. So we're going to have a lot of ingredients available to these storms to produce either large hail or isolated tornadoes. And again, when they're kind of isolated like this, it gives them a better chance to be supercells versus within a line where the line itself tends to steal a little bit of the dynamics. So here's around 7 p.m. So most of the afternoon into the early evening hours, we could have just these pop-up cells that most of them will just be heavy rain makers, maybe some hail makers. Some of them could be though large hail makers and or tornado makers. So we do need to keep an eye on them. Here's by 9 p.m., 10 p.m. it begins to reform into a line as we get into the night, and by about 11 p.m. then the majority of that is getting off to our south, but we do still have some residual activity back here until the cold front passes through. So I think we're under the gun noon to 2 p.m. and then maybe I'd say 8 p.m. to midnight for Madison County and kind of east central Indiana. We'll see how things time out and how things develop. As always, you can have a lot of dynamics available, but if they don't mix right, then nothing happens. So I'm going to show you two more things and then I'm going to get off of here. Again, I did not mention that the Storm Prediction Center did upgrade us to a slight risk of severe, and they upgraded all of the risks from tornado risk to the main one they're highlighting is large hail, with the potential 10% risk of us having hail larger than 2 inches in diameter. So we're looking at the College of DuPage site here, and we're going to take a look at two things. First, the supercell composite is just kind of showing us what's available to these. So if we back this up, here's the first wave, and you can see it's just kind of low end on the supercell composite because it's more linear. So it kind of low end on the supercell composite, but it is still possible. Then as we get into the afternoon, then these oranges and reds is kind of a moderate risk for supercells, and then of course that risk then begins to diminish by the time we're hitting about 11 p.m. to midnight. The other thing I'm going to show you is the significant tornado parameter. So again, here's the first line, pretty low end on the tornado risk, but you can see what's building back here coming out of Missouri into Illinois. And as we get into the afternoon, then again, we get into these, reds and even some of the purples. So we're moderate to high end risk for some tornadic activity. As far as this is a triple R model's rendering of it. Right now, it seems to be handling what's currently going on. So again, models are just tools; they're not the end all be all. So we'll see how this all develops. But and then, of course, then as we get past about 11 p.m. to midnight, then the risks begin to reduce. So I will update you as needed. I have city council this evening, so it's going to be a little bit tough, but I will update you as needed, or I may ask Byron to fill in while I'm at city council to make sure you're updated. But one way or the other, we will get you updated, and if anything does occur. Again, we can have all the dynamics we want, but if they don't mix right, nothing happens. But if they do mix right, you definitely want to be aware and not get caught by one of these storms. So this is Michael Mitchell with Madison County Weather Updates. Have a great and safe day.